Some may begin to wonder, is it really important taking a look at these earnings reports at this point? Can it save us from the madness of this market? Well, I think regardless, we need to look at these earnings, and I will let you know some of these that I'm interested in personally, because regardless, I'm going to be looking at these earnings because there's potential stocks that I might be interested in picking up because of these earnings. We got to take a look and see what exactly these companies have to offer, and I'll get into this and see what's plausible with this company, with all of these companies, that is. So, we're going to go ahead and get started talking about these companies. Let's start here with, obviously, before Monday, we have FuelCell Energy. So FuelCell Energy is a penny stock, but it has been a very hyped penny stock. One in the past 3 months that is technically up around 80%, but at one point was up over near around 400% up. It's a $1 stock. At one point, it went up to around the $3 range. It's definitely crazy. Before, obviously, it was in the under $1 range. Then it shot up to over right around $3. So this thing was a very, very hype stock. But again, it's one that obviously is a big money loser. There's a reason why it's a penny stock. Earnings, I don't think, can save it from the market tearing it up. There's no doubt about it, but we'll see. It's one of these hype stocks. That's one thing that I think is, obviously the market's super volatile, but one thing that you can actually find is some of these not as big companies doing pretty well off of earnings. Stuff like biopharmacies and stuff, you never know. That's really the only time you're really seeing a lot of big gains in the market at the moment, but I think we'll get to a point where we're fine. But regardless, FuelCell, that's one I'm staying out of. I made some money on some put options whenever it had shot up, so if it shoots up again, you could see me doing it again potentially. So we'll see how that goes. But we've got Bloom Energy. We're going to obviously not worry about that next one because, not as important. But we have AcceleRx, which is a pharmaceutical company, as I mentioned before. Pharmaceutical companies are interesting ones to look at because right now in this market, these biopharmacy stocks and these therapeutic stocks, really these drug makers, they're the ones that really you can find some gains in, but I still don't really tend to mess with them. These companies just are so volatile regardless. When the market's volatile, you can obviously see some potential gains going on there. So, interesting stuff. We'll see. Maybe track that one. It's not one I know personally, so might not track it. Who knows? We have Stemline, Establishment Labs, XPEL, Consolidated Water. That's, water's huge right now, obviously, so who knows what they're going to be doing, but no one's buying Consolidated Water. That's, I'm just saying, you go to the local grocery store, tell me they have any water there, they don't. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. We've got Capital, who stole the Triforce from Zelda. Obviously, that's their logo. You can't steal the Triforce. We have Neo knockoff, known as Neo. I will say too, one thing you notice, there'll be a lot more Chinese companies in these earnings because we're really getting into more of the earnings season for China. So as the U.S. earnings season kind of winds down a little bit, you'll see a little bit more in terms of that. So that's it for the before open Monday. After close Monday, we have Health Equity. Again, might be a big thing to look at. I don't know what guidance will look like for a company like that, but with obviously a virus in the market, seems weird to say that, but this could really affect these healthcare stocks. It could affect them in a positive way, no doubt about it. It really just depends on what the government decides to do. Just due to a recent press conference, I don't think there's going to be any subsidies for free care on this stuff, so we'll see how it goes. But after that, we have a Chinese company, Huya.com, and YY Incorporated. That's right. Following that, we've got Coupa. They're the turtles from Mario, so if you're interested in that one, might be worth taking a look at. Then Tencent, everyone's favorite video game maker of China, because everyone knows, Fortnite is just everyone's favorite game still. But regardless, I like looking at a company like Tencent because they're a company that makes a lot of money off microtransactions and such. A lot of, big companies are right now. That's just really the way the video game sector's gone. Microtransactions and recurring revenue are just big for them. So I'll be interested to see what exactly they have to offer for that. But I'll be looking at those earnings, see what happens. Obviously, Fortnite's been a game that's dying down, and they have a lot more games. Tencent does, so we'll see how they do. CV Sciences, but another biopharmacy. We have Catalyst Pharmacy, which is one I personally have a vested interest in. Catalyst Pharmaceuticals is a stock I've been in and out of. I bought it prior, sold for when I pretty much doubled my position, and I got back in on this stock, and right now obviously I'm sunk pretty far just due to the recent market pullback, but I'd like to see. I do like what this company's got going on. They've got a couple interesting drug prospects. We'll see exactly what that earnings looks like, but typically for these biopharmacies, the earnings aren't as important as the trial results on their test drugs. Really, that's really what sends these stocks up and down. So, but still, I'll be looking at these earnings, no doubt. We've got ZTO Express, another Chinese company, Ring Energy, and that's right, Great Panther. Great Panther. I don't know what the heck a Great Panther is, but I don't know if it interests me that much. But apparently, it's pretty anticipated, so we'll see how that goes. Tuesday, we have Cassava Sciences. That's right. More drug companies, no doubt about it. They're the hotness right now, no doubt about it, no doubt. We've got Michaels. Interesting one to look at because obviously retail's a big thing right now. A company like Michaels, you kind of expect a bad guidance, is what my perspective would be. Retail is an area where supply chain's really getting kind of hamstrung right now just due to supply chain issues, people shutting down factories, stuff like that. Michaels, you could see a reduce in guidance because probably I would expect they're going to have to pay more to get merchandise in, from my perspective. So I do believe my assumption is operating margin should be decreased in the following couple quarters potentially, maybe just the next quarter, but it'll be interesting to see what Michaels looks like. I haven't been in a Michaels in forever, but I don't really get that many craft type stuff. I'm not a scrapbooker. Sorry, guys. We've got GNC. Now, speaking of a store I go in, GNC obviously, because have you ever seen muscles like what I've got? Well, you haven't, but because you haven't seen them. But regardless, I mean, I'm yoked, and there's no doubt GNC. I don't actually go to GNC for my protein stuff, but still a big quarter for GNC too. If you consider it, obviously this is the New Year's quarter for them, so this is a time in which a lot of people, obviously, their New Year's resolution is to go to the gym more, gain more muscle, and they stop after a week. So, needless to say, I mean, I'm not saying I was in the same boat because I didn't really make a resolution, but obviously I stopped working out quite a bit ago. But doing extra workouts, that is. So I work out enough at work, so that's fine. That's the justification for it, right? But it'll be interesting to see if a lot of people are buying protein supplements. Who knows? And supplements for other things too, if you know what I'm saying, guys. Wink, wink. Baxter. We've got HD Supply. I don't like my supplies in standard definition personally, so definitely we'll look at that. Sunworks definitely sounds like a solar company. So obviously when you're looking at renewable energy, stuff like that, solar energy is definitely an interesting one to look at. I'm all into it. We've got designer brands. High quality luxury fashion brands. I don't know necessarily what that market looks like at the time being, and what the guidance looks like. I think guidance is going to be key for this company, Designer Brands. They're going to want to look at what this company can do, regardless of potential nightmares in supply chain and market and increased costs, stuff like that. Following Designer Brands, we've got RumbleOn, we've got Ocugen, and Randstad. That's right. Tuesday after close, we have, that's freaking right, FedEx. So I do have a interesting sentiment as far as FedEx is concerned. So FedEx is a company that I think has a good potential for very good guidance in the upcoming couple quarters. If we're talking about any sort of disease, stuff like this, when people are in panic, they don't really want to go out. Now, hear me out. They are going out. People are hoarding paper and water like no freaking other. But for other stuff that's not essential, these people are probably going to be purchasing stuff online, and that only helps to benefit FedEx because they're going to be delivering a lot more products. So FedEx could potentially see some growth in their guidance because of it. I'd like to see necessarily what happens. I'm not necessarily interested in this quarter, but how about the following quarter? You know what I mean? That's what I'm interested in. Following that, we have, what I love talking about is MongoDB. MongoDB, an interesting stock, actually, one that's gone pretty haywire since IPO, up around 250% since IPO, which was in, I believe, 2017, late 2017. It's a negative earning company, as a lot of these IPOs are, but the stock just does not care. And a lot is because this is a data platform type company. So big tech, they don't really care about profitability. Investors don't. So I'll still be looking at this earnings because the stock's just such a, it's so high right now. You never know what could happen. We've got Billy, the slogan for Budweiser, Billy Coors Light, Miller Lite. I don't remember. I don't drink beer, and I don't remember the slogan or whoever, but it was Dilly Dilly, and I was making a joke, and I botched it. We've got Paysign, Palladium. We've got Frontier. Nothing too excited. Westport Fuel Systems. Again, I stay out of the fuel and oil industry. I think is one that's going to be hammered for the next at least 3 months. So one I don't really care about too much. Smartsheet. Smartsheet is a decent, interesting pick. Definitely a company I'll take a look at. I don't have any good insights on it, but Smartsheet might be one I'm looking at. I wish I had any insight or any any insight for you. If I did, I would be happy to say so, but I don't. Sorry. Then we've got Transenteric. Transenterix. Sorry, that one was rough. That one was rough on me. But Wednesday before open, we have, that's right, NEO. This is my most anticipated earnings this week, no doubt. This specific report here, I don't know what guidance looks like. I don't know what their quarterly sales looks like. But this is huge for them, obviously, with a nightmare going on in China right now. I don't know necessarily what this company can do because it was a company that finally received financing, and a lot of it's going to be wasted, I think, just due to the fact that this virus could hurt this company greatly. So I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see what that earnings looks like. I'm huge into that. So we've got Baozun, Corvus, General Mills, classic consumer staple stock. I think General Mills, not necessarily this quarter will be the good one for them, but I think next quarter will be huge. Again, because people stockpiling on stuff. Next quarter should look good for General Mills, in my opinion. We've got Hexo. We have a McDonald's logo rip-off. They just put a circle around it. We don't like them. Granite. That's right. My favorite NBA player of the past was Kevin Granite, if you don't know him. Played for the Celtics. Come on, everyone knows Kevin Granite. We have Abraxas. AA. Not Alcoholics Anonymous, don't worry. And then we have, that's right, Altimmune. Again, one of these pharmaceutical companies. So after close, we have Five Below. Five Below is a very interesting place. Again, they just opened one locally right next to me. I mean, this is a very new building, so I've been in there. It's an interesting company. I know someone who works for them. as well. So Five Below is a cool, different alternative to a dollar store. That's one I know more than I do dollar store stuff. So people kept roasting me because I don't know. Haven't been in dollar stores. Sorry guys. But I know Five Below. So how does that help? Guidance again, key for them. That's my perspective on it. Guess. Um, these high-end luxury type companies for fashion. I don't know necessarily what guidance looks like for them. It's going to be interesting to look at, but I think it could hurt them for sure, no doubt. We've got Tailored Brands, stock I used to be in, not really anymore, but definitely a good dividend yield on that company. So if it goes down, might be one that's worth looking at picking up potentially. We'll see. We've got Williams Sonoma, Trip.com. Obviously, Trip.com, one that's going to get absolutely hammered to no avail as far as guidance is concerned, because no one is doing any sort of trip signing up or anything right now. So these type of companies are going to get just continuously hammered, no doubt. Herman Miller, I feel like they make paint. Am I crazy? Or furniture, something like that. We've got PagerDuty, ACM, Avenger, and Dyadic. Nothing too exciting out of those that I would like to necessarily mention. Thursday, before open, we obviously have Momo. Momo. What can you say, Momo? Then we have Tencent trying to show itself again. It's trying to show its face one more time. Tencent, you can shove it. You're going to be on my list twice. Whoopsies. Get out of here. We have Accenture. Stage Stores, not a company I personally, or a retailer I've been in. Same thing with a children's place. Needless to say, I don't have kids. So, what do you want? Darden. I like to look at Darden potentially here because obviously they own a bunch of restaurant chains. I think they own Texas Roadhouse as well. But I forget the main four that they own. They own four big restaurant companies. Right now, takeout is the key for them. They're not really selling as much in stores, so I don't know if guidance is rough for them. But Darden might be interesting to look at because they're selling a lot of takeout stuff in their restaurants, no doubt. Even though it gives just as much risk of contamination, but regardless, whatever. Duluth Trading, clothing retailer. I think they're gonna do fine, but I think profits could be hurt in the short term, no doubt. We got Lexan, Avio, and a picture of a globe. I don't know that logo off the top of my head. That is my bad. I wish I did, but I don't. After close on Thursday, we've got CrowdStrike. We've got Village Farms, okay? Village Farms. The only farms I care about are Schrute Farms, personally, so you can get out of here. We've got Organovo, Ollie's, piece of garbage outlet, retailer again, not really one that I'm interested in at all, nor have I heard of it. So we've got Adesto. Cintas is going to be a good one to look at personally. I think Cintas is worth looking at. We've got Waiter, that's right, but they took out the E, so they're pretty cool. Wrap Technologies, Neovasc, and Viviv, I don't remember. I don't know. But again, there's some cool tech companies there at the end of that, Thursday after close. Maybe worth taking a look at. Friday, then, we'll finish it off with, that's right, Hibbett Sports, Green Lane, Tiffany & Company. I obviously at a point where in my life where it's coming up time, I got to buy a freaking, engagement ring, stuff like that. Whew, Tiffany & Company, I'm not going there, but regardless, rings are expensive. Do you know that? So I would like to see what average selling price looks for that, because I haven't really looked into these companies before as far as what average selling price looks like. So obviously it's got to be pretty freaking high from what I've found out. But then we got BRP, Telia, Endenor, Ennis, SK Telecom. If you're not a good big telecom company, I don't really care about you. Sorry. UT Starcom, and RWE. Nothing, I don't think, too exciting to look at for me on Friday that I'm looking at, but if there's something you find interesting, I will say my big stock here is going to be NEO. See what they do, but there's some other key players that you can take a look at as well, so I really hope you enjoyed.